All right, so we'll go ahead and pick up here where we left off, going to the passage guide now. And actually, I'm going to clear this out so that we don't have a bunch of tabs for when we do the passage guide. So the easiest way to do that kind of is just close out of Logos. I'm going to open it back up here so I get a fresh workspace. And I guess before I did that, I could show you how I save my workspace. I can show you that here with this one. I also wanted to let you know there's probably some differences, a few differences between the PC version, which is what I have, and the Mac version, but for the most part they're going to be the same. So some of this may look slightly different. Yours probably looks a little sleeker being a Mac version. But for the most part, it's all going to be the same. If you run into something that is different, let me know, because I've got a Mac version on Shauna's computer. If I wanted to save that last layout, I'll tell you what, we'll go in here first, go into our guides. We're going to do the passage guide this time, so I'm going to select passage guide. And here it's just pulling up the last thing I did. This is for a sermon for Dr. Aubrey. I was working on this passage here. But we'll type in the Genesis 21 and find our pericopes here. So we'll go back to that same one, and I'm going to run the passage guide now. Click on that. It's going to, well, it didn't actually select it there. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. I've got, I'm encoding the last video as I'm recording this one, so it's taking a toll on my memory. That's why it's so static, or jerky here. But so there it ran the passage guide for us, Genesis 21, 8 through 21. If I wanted to save that last exegetical guide workspace that I had going, come over here to Layouts, and it is going to, well, here it is. The last time I closed the application, this is everything that was up. So I can go over here to Save As. I can do Exegetical Guide for Genesis 21, 8 through 21. Hit Enter there, and now it's saved, so I can come back to that later when I want to. That's kind of a cool feature there. But here now we've got the passage guide, so we'll go through this. First section here is going to be your commentaries. So it's going to pull all the commentaries that you have in your library that have a reference to a verse in this passage. So you can, it's usually going to give your more used commentaries up toward the top, but sometimes there's an important one that gets lost down there. So I always keep clicking more here until it goes away, so that I know I have all of my relevant commentaries here. And you can kind of go down through here and decide, okay, which commentaries am I actually going to use? Pulpit commentary, probably not. Opening up Genesis, probably not. But New American Commentary, yeah, I'm going to use that. So I'm going to click it. It's going to open the New American Commentary up over to my right. And again, this is slower because I'm actually encoding the last video as I do this. But there you go. So it opens it up over there. Let's say I also want to look at the UBS hand guide, handbook on Genesis. It's going to open it there. Lexham textual notes. Let's go with Calvin. I can even look at the Faith Life Study Bible, what it says about this passage. I've got my IVP Bible background commentary on the Old Testament over there. So I just go through here and I find all of the, commentaries that I'm interested in looking at as I do my research here, and I'm just going to pull them all up. That way I can read through each of these, and then just kind of get the information that I want. I can highlight, I can copy and paste into different notes. Like, let's say I find something really good here in the note for 21:9. Let's say I really like this note on the Pial participle. The Pial participle in 21:9 is from the same root as the name Isaac. Oh, well, that's interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that. I'm going to copy it. And actually, what I would do, add, I don't have a note here for this passage yet, but if I wanted to, I could go into Tools. I could go into Documents, go down here to Notes, and let's say I want to create a notes file that's just for Genesis 21, 8 through 21 from my commentaries. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and bring it down over here. Now that I've done that, I can just select, oh, this is really interesting. We'll select it. I'm going to copy it. And you may not even need to copy and add separately, but now I'm going to add a note to Genesis, and it's got it up here. Maybe a better way to do it is well, yeah, I'm not sure what. Anyways, it obviously doesn't give you the full quote here. This is just a heading, but then down here you can just Control V or paste it or whatever, and it'll give you that. So, anyways, that's just a way I kind of take notes with my commentaries, and then of course it shows up there. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this because I don't actually care much about that. And once I delete it, it takes it out of there. So, anyways, commentaries. That's what you got. So down here, next one, journals. Any journals that I have in my library that are relevant to this passage are going to pop up here. So I can read articles that are relevant to this. Let's say I want to read something about the genealogical framework of the family stories in Genesis. I pull this article up. It's going to bring it right there. Let's say I want to do these, keep that separate from my commentary. So I'm going to put it down here with my notes. So now I got all my commentaries up here. Got my notes and my journals down here, but I don't usually have much in the way of journals there. My content, this is going to be anything that I've created relevant. So here you can see that exegetical guide that I did shows up right there. Treasury of Scripture Knowledge, you can open that up. It's going to give you all of these different cross-references and stuff. It also provides cross-references that Logos finds with your particular. My selected default translation is the NASB, so it's going to pull all those up in NASB. And this is a full list down here of the rest of them. I can open all of these in the NSB if I want, or I can save all of these to a passage list. This is a helpful little thing that basically takes all of those references, opens it in a passage list, and so now I can, let's say I want to see what these say in different translations. I just type in HCSB there, and it's going to translate that into the HCSB now. Let's say I want to look at them in the Hebrew. I can just go down here to my BHS, and it'll pull those up in the Hebrew now. So that's kind of the cool thing about a passage list, is the list part is really these references, and then you can make the text appear in whatever translation you want. So let's say I pull something up from the Apocrypha. Let's say I've got a cross-reference in the Apocrypha. Well, the HCSB is not going to translate the Apocrypha. I'm going to have to change this into the NRSV or maybe the King James or something like that does it. But that's kind of a cool feature. That passage list is going to help me bring all those together. The next section here is ancient literature. This is really helpful for backgrounds. Ancient Near Eastern material. Things that are related to my topic, I can pull up ancient Near Eastern texts, 160, 173, 420. I can look at these. Let's pull up 420 here. That's going to throw it over there. Maybe I want to, I don't know, put it there. We'll put my commentaries over here, my ancient texts over here. So now I can look at the instruction of Ani, and I can see kind of how does this relate to my passage. I can look through that. I've got tons of stuff, Hammurabi, context of Scripture. This is a document about wifehood, so that's interesting. I've also got stuff from the Church Fathers, quotations of my passage. If I have any of these Church Fathers in my library, a pop-up bubble, let's go with Origen. Well, maybe I don't have Origen. It's not that one. Ambrose, what about that? Clement. There we go. I've got Clement on Stromata. So if I have it, it'll pop up a little bubble here, and I can click on it, and that will also open it. Again, I want this up here. Now that Stromata, that actually opens in my pseudepigrapha. That's interesting. Um,